The average RV gets 10 to 15 miles per gallon of gasoline. That means if gas was at $4 a gallon, it would cost a family of four about $350 to travel from Syracuse to Orlando, Florida for a vacation. That same family would have to pay over $3,000 in airfare, hotel, and car rental for a 6-night stay in Orlando. We are number one. The temperature at Syracuse Hancock International Airport reached 95 degrees. That breaks a 75-year-old record set back in 1933. It's not a record we probably want, but it's one that we have. But it's not just central New York that's suffering. The entire East Coast is amidst a heat wave. Some cities reaching triple digits, so stay inside, drink lots of water, because I can tell you guys, it is hot out here. Back to you in the studio. New cars often have built-in safety features like alarm systems and electronic keys that can't be copied, and it prevents the car from being hot-wired. But these safety features are often as big of a headache for the consumer as it is for the car thief. But the real key to Healthy Mondays is to make exercise interesting and fun, which is why guys like Marley are here today. Maybe you want to take some of that extra money you get from turning in your gold and buy a new electronic toy. That's often easier said than done in the world of technology because it's always changing. There's a term called Moore's Law that says technology will improve or get less expensive every 18 months. And for consumers, it can be a challenge deciding when to buy and when to wait for something better. It's not what U.S. students are learning in science class, it's how they're learning it. Professor Tillotson says that needs to change so they don't get lost when they get to a college classroom. So recruitment-wise, this team seems headed in the right direction, but of course recruiting is an inexact science, so we'll have to see what this class ends up doing on the field. Brad Seal, live from the SU Hill. Back to you in the studio, Ross.
Yeah, Brad, we're going to have to wait and see how that talent pans out. But meanwhile, you got to be impressed by Greg Robinson's ability to retain a lot of the in-state talent.
Absolutely, and considering the Orange record over the past couple of years, you'd think a lot of people would be running out of state, but he got almost all of them. In fact, Lavius Murray is the only guy that left of the major recruits that left the state. He went down to Central Florida, but Marcus Sales, DeAndre Priester, a lot of guys stayed local and came to Syracuse, and that should help them in the future here. Everyone we talk to agrees that the grass is greener now that Alliance Bank Stadium doesn't have artificial turf. But it's going to take more than a new surface to fill these seats. In the future, losing your smartphone will be like losing your cell phone, planner, MP3 player, and personal computer all at once. And if you're not careful, you may also lose your credit card or bank account number as well. In fact, even today, business owners don't understand just how much information is out there on their employees' smartphones. Apparently, he didn't learn from his mistake. A man was arrested twice in one day for a DWI. The Oneida County Sheriff's Department says they pulled Victor Sauerhofer over early Monday morning on Lowell Road in Westmoreland. He failed a breathalyzer test and was arrested for DWI. After being released to a third party, the man was caught again by the Rome Sheriff's Department just a half hour later. He's being held in the Oneida County Jail in lieu of $1,500 bail. And authorities caught him just in time because summer travel is getting ready to reach its peak. The 4th of July is only 2 weeks away. This means more summer fun and more traffic accidents. NCC's Karen Davenport found that if you're going to be driving this summer, you'd better be careful because New York drivers may not be all that safe.
Now, sports now with Brad Steele. And Brad, there were a lot of good playoff games going on. What happened?
There were a lot of good playoff games locally. There are also a lot of good ones nationally, and none bigger than down in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Lord Stanley's Cup has found a new home for the next year. The Detroit Red Wings were finally closed out the Pittsburgh Penguins in Mellon Arena, and it was just Detroit's night.
Chandler says he feels fine and knows he's very, very lucky.
I would say he's lucky. He gets a nail stuck in his head and they take it out with just a hammer.
I know.
Can you imagine that?
You know, I have a strict rule against power tools, and that's one of the reasons why.
You don't want to shoot yourself in the head with a nail gun.
I don't want to shoot anyone else in the head.
Ma'am, you're not to do any house renovations with you. That's it for NCC News at 4 o'clock. I'm Brad Seal.
I'm Andrea Berry. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for NCC News at 4:40.
The Ironman competition that involves a 1.5-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26-mile marathon. Oh, I get tired just talking about it, but there is a group in Syracuse that allows people to challenge themselves and get in shape without going to Ironman extremes.
5, 4, 3, 2, go!
The Central New York Triathlon Club meets every Wednesday during the summer to run a triathlon. Club president Jim Siegel says he does it because the combination of swimming, biking, and running helped him lose over 90 pounds.
Weighed 260 plus pounds, miserable. And I said, wait a minute, this is crazy. I can't bend over to tie my shoes. I get out of breath going down to the mailbox to get mail. This is not me.
But these triathlons aren't the hyper-competitive races seen on television. In fact, members say there's no better place to begin triathlon training.
You just come and it's relaxed. You go at your own pace. You have people to ride with, people to run with, and it's just a comfortable way to get used to it.
The triathlon may take some getting used to, but with a half-mile swim, 14-mile bike ride, and 5K run, it's only a fraction of the competitive triathlons. 61-year-old Jim Mira used the triathlon club to help him get back into shape after open heart surgery.
The older you get, it's harder to keep in shape. So you're working more of these muscles, and you just feel better. And it's just great. It's the, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And Siegel says people can always adjust how much they do in these triathlons depending on how they feel.
The mixture of sports, if you hurt your foot, you can swim. If your back's bothering you, on the bike you can run. So no matter, even when you're injured, you can keep that training going.
It's training that club members say will leave you looking and feeling much better.
How you feeling?
2 spots. So far, so good.
Now, the lake at Jamesville Beach Park doesn't open until mid-June, so the club is actually only biking and running until then. Many of the club members I talked to say they actually become involved in competitive triathlons, but they say that there is still a large group that simply uses triathlon training as an interesting way to stay in shape.
Sports, Brad, another big playoff game in the War Memorial.
A big playoff game indeed, and a streak on the line for the Crunch. The Crunch have won 16 games in a row, including an overtime triumph against Manitoba in Game 1 of their best-of-7 playoff series. In Game 2, the Crunch hope to notch another victory in front of the home fans before the team takes that long 1,500-mile trip out to Winnipeg. But wins are never easy when it comes to playoff hockey. To the Memorial Center, the fans are excited. They know it's playoff hockey time, but they have nothing to be excited about at first. Colby Ginoway to Danny Gruhl in the slot. That's a goal. The Moose take a quick 2-0 lead. But David Cullen shuffles the puck over to Andrei Plekhanov. That is a goal. The Crunch cut the lead 2-1. And then Joakim Lindstrom over to Doobie Westcott in the slot. That puck has eyes. Goal. 2-2 game. This game would go into overtime again, where Mike Brown for the Moose comes down the ice. He fights off a check behind the net by Mark Maffat, stuffs it past Carl Gehring. Moose win in overtime 3-2. The series is tied 1-1, and now the Crunch goes to Winnipeg for 3 straight games. Meanwhile, Coach Ross Yates says it feels kind of weird to actually lose a game.
You know, we haven't lost in 2 months, so it was a new feeling. And you know, in the long run, it might be good that you know, we get knocked down to reality a bit here, and we need to get ready here for the, you know, how we react on Tuesday night.
To further thing from my mind, right now it's 1-1 in the series, and you know, as much as that was a great streak, and you know, we'll remember it forever, we're over that pretty quick, I think.
While the Crunch winning streak has ended, the Syracuse Chiefs have started a winning streak of their own. After a slow start, the Chiefs have 7 wins in a row and are in second place in the International League North standings. The Chiefs were looking for a win at home to complete a 4-game sweep of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. And to the field, Hot Stuff Baby this evening. And this fan's checking his song request. I guess he doesn't like disco. But he likes what he sees on the field. First inning, Jorge Valendia. A 2-run single past the shortstop puts the Chiefs up 3-0. Later, still in the first inning, Wayne Lydon. Another 2-run single. This time it's up the middle. This scores Chip Cannon to make it 6-0 Chiefs. Iron Pigs just looking like pigs. In the second inning, Wayne Lydon again, RBI single, other side of the field this time. Chiefs drop 13 runs on the Iron Pigs and come away with the sweep. To the major leagues. Yankees on the south side of Chicago, where Jose Contreras serves one up to Jason Giambi, who says thank you. Solo shot puts the Yankees up 2-0. White Sox come back to take a 3-2 lead. That is until Octavio Dotel pitches to a Bobby Abreu with the bases juiced. Abreu sends that ball packing, empties the bags. Yanks go on to beat the White Sox 9-5 as they try to keep up with the rest of the American League East.
Well, I'm ready.